Kia ora, good evening. Welcome to Central News for Thursday, the 15th of May. I'm Hilary Entwistle. A former councillor is imploring Western Bay Plenty District Council to look at ways to strengthen affordable housing in the region, despite rising land costs standing in the way. Tauranga Community Housing Trust Chairperson Joe Gravitt believes insufficient recognition of changing family structures and a general lack of affordable housing is causing big headaches in the sub-region. Speaking on her submission, Joe believes there is now more demand for 1 and 2 bedrooms and rental or ownership options that are affordable on one income, but adequate choices of affordable housing within the sub-region remain unchanged. All will be revealed on Monday the 19th of May at Te Ao Mutu College when the Trustpower Waipa District Community Awards are announced and presented. Around 130 are expected to turn out to acknowledge some of the 52 voluntary groups and organisation groups entered for this year's awards. It's the highest number of entries ever received. As well as category winners, the supreme winner of the 2014 Trustpower Waipa District Community Awards will be announced. That organisation will take home $1,500, a trophy and all expenses paid trip to the Trustpower National Community Awards being held in the Wellington region in March 2015. A demolition and digger hire company has been convicted and fined a total of $67,687 for illegally disposing of asbestos-contaminated demolition waste and fill material and clearing native vegetation in Otamotai last year. The prosecution was brought jointly by Tauranga City Council and Bay Plenty Regional Council. The Otamotai site where the offending occurred borders a City Council reserve near Waikairero Estuary's Daisy Hardwick Walkway, with about half the property within a Category 1 Special Ecological Area. The affected site is now listed with both councils as a contaminated site. For the 2014 season, the Bay Plenty Steamers will be proudly wearing an alternative jersey designed by one of 3 Bay Plenty youths, Keenan McCollum, Tane Lansdale and Aidan Horan. The winning jersey will be worn during both the Steamers away match against Taranaki in August, as well as the home match versus Otago in October. The top 3 entries were selected by a panel based on criteria, including elements that proudly display the Bay of Plenty holistically as a region, retaining the traditional colours of blue and gold, and expressing a love of rugby in the design. The winner will be decided by the Bay of Plenty community at 4 p.m. tomorrow, Friday the 16th of May, via the Union's Facebook page, facebook.com/BOP Rugby. Supporters can like one design, and the design with the most likes will be the winner. Papamoa school pupils are receiving an education in scooter safety in a bid to reduce the number of scooter-related injuries. This week, Papamoa Police Constable Sarah McKenzie is teaching the school's 150 Year 3 and 4 pupils the importance of wearing helmets and footwear while using push scooters and how to navigate road crossings and traffic safely. The initiative was started by teacher Hamish Avery, who became alarmed at the number of pupils being injured while riding scooters and their blasé attitude towards the accidents. The local injuries are part of an increasing national issue, with scooter-related injuries doubling annually, according to ACC. In New Zealand, ACC data shows injuries have doubled every year since 2008, from 697 claims that year to 6,704 in 2012. Now for our region's marine forecast. West coast, there is a southerly rising early on Friday morning with 25 knots and rough seas out there. High tide in Raglan is 10:58 a.m. East coast looks better with a southerly of 15 knots and fine weather. Tauranga high tide is 8:03 a.m. Just ahead, bullying. It's the inspiration for some of the latest Fallout's music. Welcome to Central News on TV Central. It is New Zealand Music Month, so we have been chatting with some local musicians about their latest success. Last week, I spoke with Brendan Piper from the latest Fallout about the release of their debut album. Welcome to the show, Brendan.
Hi.
So you guys have been super busy lately. Tell me all about that.
Well, yeah, up to the lead up to the album coming out, we got a slot on Good Morning and performed our latest single, Better, on there, and that was incredible. Yeah, they enjoyed having us and want us back. Yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking because, yeah, I haven't ever been that nervous before, but it was awesome opportunity. And yeah, we got a write-up in Girlfriend for New Zealand Music Month, so that was incredible as well. Another write-up in a Hamilton newspaper as well. And then, yeah, our album came out on the 2nd of May as well, following Good Morning, and went straight to number 9 on the New Zealand iTunes chart, so yeah, it's crazy.
In the same day?
Yeah, same day.
That is pretty cool. But it wasn't just, I mean, you know, nowadays you kind of think it's more online and iTunes and that kind of thing, but the actual physical album has done pretty well as well.
Yeah, I've gone to JB Hi-Fi to try and get it in stores and stuff, and it's, you know, it's a lot of, you know, you got to work with the big guys and stuff to get it in there, but it's getting there, and a lot of people have been in there saying, you know, where can we get the album? So that should be good for, you know, them to want it in stores if people are asking for it already, so yeah.
That's pretty exciting. Tell me more about Good Morning. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was our publishing label, Jack, that got that for us, and yeah, just such good support of New Zealand Music Month, you know, having us on there, and it was part of our anti-bullying tour message thing that we're doing. We've just almost wrapped up the tour. We've got one school in Auckland to go at Mount Auckland Grammar School, and after that we'll finish the sort of pre-tour to the album tour, which will start sort of in late July or later on in the year, and we'll do, you know, a full tour of New Zealand with the album, and yeah, do more school shows, and yeah.
Tell me more about that tour. It was pretty full on by the sounds of it.
Yeah, we had, I think it was 18 dates that we did, and trying to juggle that around being at Wintec and, you know, studying and working and being in the band and getting the album finished and everything. Yeah, no, it was awesome. We had good response from the kids that were at the shows. You know, a lot of them, the message really hit home with them, and they were just, you know, wow.
Why anti-bullying? Are you guys something that you guys personally feel a bit strongly about? Or?
Yeah, I mainly started it because, you know, as we keep getting fans come in, you know, I kind of saw that we're developing quite a scene at the moment, so I was kind of thinking, you know, with more and more reception coming in, it was kind of like you hear more stories about what the kids' lives entail and what's going on in their lives, and there was, yeah, I heard of this one girl that, you know, committed suicide because her bullying was so bad, so, and that really, you know, hit home, so I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing something about this, and, you know, I was bullied in school as well, and ended up leaving my school in Hamilton at Fairfield College and moved out to Matamata and went to school here for a bit, and yeah, changed my life, so it was for the best.
Because of the bullying?
Yeah, it just stopped as soon as I came here.
So what's your message to those kids that you were, you know, with that anti-bullying thing?
Yeah, well, just look what I'm doing now, and, you know, you turn it around, you know, people think they have a hold on you, and they don't, you know. High school is kind of like their kingdom, but as soon as it finishes, the tables turn, and, you know, you're in the real world, and that's where things matter, and, you know, they might have been a king back then, but not now.
It's life after high school.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's the real world, and yeah, bullying and stuff like that just doesn't count, it doesn't matter.
Now, so is that some inspiration behind some of your music?
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's a few tracks on the album actually that I wrote about my bullying and like how other people can kind of listen to them and just get over bullying and stuff, you know, just be like, you know, your words don't have any power with me. Downfall was the biggest one that I did about bullying, which is all about just believing in yourself and just shaking the self-doubt and just doing what you want and owning the moment and just going for it and shutting out the voices in your head that they've put there and saying, you know, you can't do this and you'll never be this. And It Must Suck to Be You as well is another song that I wrote about that, and like the title doesn't appear in the song at all, but it's kind of just like a message about, you know, you said that I'd never do anything with my life, and it's kind of like, well, it must suck to be you, because look what's happening. Yeah. Yeah.
Was there other stuff that kind of inspires you and the rest of the band for your music?
Yeah, like what I've gone through with the band members and stuff, you know, we've had a few changes over the years since we started it in 2012. And just, yeah, really, really close friendships that I've never really had in my life before. And you learn so much about people and what works with certain people and what doesn't. Like, you can only push certain buttons with certain people for so long, and you're just learning, you know, more about people, and I've definitely learned a lot about that being in this band, and especially fans as well. Like, you get to learn who they are, and like, you kind of, I don't know, we're so involved in each other's life in a weird way. It's we message fans daily and stuff, and they tell us what's going on, and hang out with them at shows and stuff, and yeah, it's cool to know, you know, how different people's lives can be, you know, it's opposite ends of the scale sometimes, and yeah, it's just cool.
Because you guys have actually had quite a big change in the band as well. One member left.
Yeah, we had Matt leave a few months ago, and he just needs to figure out what he wants to do with his life now, and he's kind of getting through that at the moment. But yeah, being in this band was it's very busy, so it's kind of, you have to make definite decisions, you know, whether you're going to stay or go. So. But it was good. We got Hamish McKenzie in. He's in Rotorua, so yeah, no, he's wonders for this band. You know, he's really motivated, musical mind. So yeah, no, it's for the best. It's really good.
Sounds like things have been very busy for you guys in the latest Fallout.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
The latest Fallout's debut album is available on iTunes, amplifier.com, and in-store at JB Hi-Fi. Coming up next, Tauranga Te Reo, the bid to make the city bilingual. Welcome back. Tauranga Te Reo, our Te Reo-friendly city, is the kaupapa aiming to make Tauranga the first bilingual city, including signage around Tauranga of original Māori names. I spoke with the man behind it all about his goal to assist with the basic knowledge of Te Reo Māori.
By making basic Te Reo Māori available, right? So, and the analogy that I've used a lot in the coverage is that this is a goal is to make Te Reo Māori readily available, right? I'm not going to stand there on the corner and teach you how to speak Māori. It wouldn't work, because I can't speak Māori to an extent where I can sit there and have a conversation with you in terms of fluency, right? So the goal was just to make an extension of the journey that I'm already on at Moana Radio. I came to the radio station to get paid to learn how to speak Māori, and I thought, well, how can I then extend my reach? The sort of weird perception for Moana Radio is that it's only a radio station for Māori people, so I thought, how could we then combat that perception? And the easiest way for me to do that was to make the elements that make Moana Radio the best station in Tauranga, to make that available to everybody, hence the Tauranga Te Reo project. So we're going to make it available simply by signs, the website, the mobile applications. It's like the swimming pool analogy that I used a couple of weeks ago in the Bay of Plenty Times. I'm going to build a pool, right? I'm not going to throw you in it and then expect you to learn how to swim immediately. I'm going to provide the resources for you to then enjoy the learning experience. If you choose to, kei te pai, that's amazing. That means great, by the way. But if you don't, and then you choose to walk past that pool without getting wet, without exposing yourself to the amazingness that is Te Ao Māori, then that's your choice as well. So this isn't force feeding, and the action that runs parallel with that. This is essentially making it available to everybody.
Why Tauranga? Why not a city with a higher Māori population?
Well, that's exactly why, because our Māori population probably isn't as huge as that. Well, I know that it isn't huge as that in Rotorua, Hamilton, etc. But I think why Tauranga? Well, if I was to put it bluntly, I live here. So, you know, there's no magical answer as to why Tauranga. I've experienced over the last sort of 3 or 4 years of being here on a full-time basis the fact that I think we could probably do more. We're in post-settlement mode, so all 3 of our iwi, our big iwi here, are all in the final stages of signing the dotted line when it comes to their deed of settlement with the Crown. So they're in a position now where they've got a whole lot of money, resources, time, energy. What are they going to do with it? Hopefully they can use that to sort of embrace the essence that is Te Reo Māori and use that to enhance that presence amongst their people in Tauranga Moana. So that's why I thought that this project would work really good here, because you know, the rednecks would suggest that the handout process is finished, so now it's time to use that handout and hand up our people in Aoreo. Is
Tauranga historically rich?
Yeah, I think New Zealand is historically rich, and I think it's there's an opportunity there. So it sort of depends on who's telling the story and who's listening and what they hope to get from the story. So there's probably a value in everything when it comes to Aotearoa, but I think the greatest value for Tauranga Moana right now is the opportunities that lie in investing into Aoreo. So that's what Tauranga Te Reo is all about, and that's what I'm hoping to achieve with this project.
If you would like to find out more about this kaupapa, visit their Facebook page, Tauranga Te Reo, our Te Reo friendly city. There have been warnings lately about superbugs, which are resistant to antibiotics and more prevalent in New Zealand society than first realised. Anne-Marie spoke with Dr. Greg Dunn from Matamata Medical Centre to find out more about superbugs and how we can keep ourselves safe.
Dr. Greg Dunn from the Matamata Medical Centre, thanks for joining me. Superbugs are on the rise, the World Health Organisation has warned. It sounds scary. Should we be very, very scared?
I don't think being very scared. You don't want to panic about these things. I think it's something where people need to be conscious of, and it's really, superbugs just refers to common bacteria which are now resistant to commonly used antibiotics. So antibiotics came in the 1930s, and even then there were some bacteria which were resistant to penicillin, which was the first antibiotic. But succeeding years of use have generated more resistant bacteria, and so these bacteria are called superbugs.
So what can we do to prevent ourselves from catching a superbug?
Well, there may not be much that you can actively do apart from simple measures like hand hygiene. That's a very effective way of controlling spread of infection, and the most effective way is just soap and water and washing your hands effectively for long enough, and that's, there's a wee saying of singing happy birthday twice to yourself, and that's usually long enough to use soap to get enough bacteria off your hands.
And that's just normal soap,
Normal soap, yeah. It's more effective than some hand sanitisers. Hand sanitisers are effective if they've got enough alcohol component in them, but hand sanitisers may not be as good as soap, especially if your hands are greasy or dirty.
Right. So flu vaccinations have been in the media lately with winter coming upon us. Are they helpful against something like a superbug?
No, flu vaccines are only specifically working against influenza viruses. Flu vaccines are very safe. They're effective in terms of reducing ill effects from influenza. They have a modest effect in reducing the actual occurrence of influenza in certain age groups and certain health conditions. So medically we would recommend flu vaccine for older people and, say, pregnant mums and children with health conditions and other younger people with other medical conditions. So it's very safe and it's very effective in reducing complications from influenza.
Is it too late to receive it for this season?
No, we're still vaccinating locally, and the flu season generally covers from around about April through to October, November. So they're funded up to about June.
What precautions should we be taking around this time of the year, trying to keep ourselves well? What should we be doing?
Generally healthy lifestyle choices, eating well, sleeping well, not smoking, limiting alcohol and drug use, getting plenty of activity so we keep physically well. If you're in a situation where you're unwell, then hand hygiene is very important in reducing diarrhoea illnesses and respiratory illnesses.
We can't emphasise the hand washing enough, really, can we?
That's right, and it's probably not done enough really, and done well enough overall.
Well, we'll be hearing the strains of happy birthday from the bathrooms around New Zealand, I'm sure.
That's fine, yeah.
Dr. Dunn, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Emily.
Just ahead, your weather for Friday and Anna Hawkins. Welcome to Central News. Carrying on with New Zealand Music Month, I caught up recently with the beautiful Anna Hawkins, a local classical crossover singer-songwriter. We spoke about the New Zealand industry and if it's harder here than overseas.
I think, there's certainly an element of difficulty. I think it's based on the fact that we have a smaller population than other countries, and particularly for my genre of music. It's something that perhaps is a bit stronger in the UK or even America. Whereas here in New Zealand, sometimes if you'll say classical crossover singer, they'll go, what? What is that? But apart from that, you do get, once you've got that fan base or that support, they can be very loyal, and that's really encouraging as an artist to see.
Does it ever make you want to pack your bags, move over there and try out a career over there?
Absolutely. I mean, we're Kiwis, we have that pioneering spirit, and both my husband and I have Irish passports, so we could literally hop on a plane and start working over there as soon as we wanted to. And it's definitely always been a dream of mine to really give it a go overseas and see how far I could go.
How important do you think New Zealand Music Month is to supporting New Zealand musicians?
It's incredibly important. I mean, if you think about it, we are a small country, and we pump out so many amazing New Zealand musicians, and I think that is because of initiatives like New Zealand Music Month. It's really important that we embrace and support and, you know, give that funding into that area so that the artists do have a chance to make it in their own country, but also, you know, go overseas and sort of give New Zealand a bit of a name.
And you write a lot of your own stuff. What kind of inspires your music?
I mean, a lot of it is life experience as far as the lyrics go, but I love like film music, classical music, pop music. So as far as the style, I draw influences from a lot of different styles of music, and obviously the Celtic music as well. And just kind of, I just like to sing out, and it just kind of comes, and I experiment and make songs that way.
Do you ever have to pinch yourself that it's all happening, that it's real?
Yeah, I do. And I feel just incredibly thankful and grateful for the fact that I do get to do what I love, because not everyone can say that.
But there's still bigger and better things that you want to do?
Yeah, there's more that I want to do, but I've always been a dreamer, and yeah, I've got a big vision, I suppose. So yeah, there's always a tension of remaining thankful for where you are at now, but also wanting to forge on into, you know, bigger and greater adventures.
If you'd like to find out more about Anna's music and her upcoming concerts, you can visit her website, annahawkins.co.nz. Now for the weather for Friday. Hamilton, fine with a southerly. Your expected high is 17 and an overnight low of 2. Paeroa, the same for you with 17 and 3. Matamata, you have a lovely sunny day too, but it will be cold at night with 1 and 14 for the day. Te Awamutu, 17 and 2. Tokoroa, 15 and 0 for your overnight low. Bay Plenty Tauranga, fine with southerly winds as well, 18 and 5 for you. Te Puke, the same for you with 16 and 5 your expected temperatures. That is Central News for today. You can get in contact with us via our Facebook page or email us at news@tvcentral.co.nz. Join me again tomorrow night when I find out about the large scour hole created by the artificial reef at Tay Street. Annie shoots some hoops with the Waikato Pistons, and what's on in the bay with Creative Tauranga. I'm Hilary Entwistle. Have a lovely evening.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.